All this Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup action is energized by Raceway. Hello and welcome to round 5 action of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. We're at Red Star Raceway and we are expecting some more world-class racing action. There's Mark from Red Square, always been a big supporter of the ZX10 Masters Cup. Great to have him and the Red Square brand still very much involved. There's Michael Switzlighty just showing him how it's done, Dad, with his helmet and gloves on. And one of our riders is Ian Harwood, and he goes to such extent to save weight that he actually cuts a couple of his fingers off. Let's cross over now to Greg Maloney in the Sunbet press conference.
Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup powered by Red Square. 3 overall championship leaders in each of the categories, starting with Graham Van Breda. GVBD, it's been a tough season. 2 wins not going your way at the last round. What's your plans for this weekend?
Yeah, this is it's been it's closest year for closest championship for many years. I think I've got a 30-point gap going into. There's still 2 rounds left, so the plans for Red Star is to it's not my favourite hunting ground, but it's just to bring it home in the top 3 and hopefully try and get a win.
And Mike, your side of things, you're fighting not only for overall but also for Class A. Class A has gone well so far.
Yeah, no, Class A, I had a good year. It's actually the big one that I want. I am 30 points behind, but yeah, anything can happen.
JLR, it's been a fantastic season as always. Oldest man out on the circuit, but still running with these guys and giving them probably a good, best run for their money that they ever get.
Yes, Greg, it's one of those things that you just have to do, you know. It's a sport that I love, so it doesn't matter age-wise. We just carry on regardless. And I'm just very grateful that I can still ride with a couple of these oaks. Although it's getting a little bit tighter, a little bit harder on the brakes, a little bit less on the throttle, but we were working on it. I hope I live long enough to get better.
Double winner last time out in East London, it's Travis Nordia.
It's my first time here in the anti-clockwise direction. I've been here clockwise once, so anti-clockwise is a new track for me. But yeah, I'm feeling stoked after the East London round. Was feeling confident, but this track is quite tough, so I'm still getting the hang of it, and hopefully today will go pretty good.
And one of the most improved riders over the season, all the way from Cape Town, David Entergot.
Yeah, lekker to be here. Thanks for our sponsors for getting us here and whatever. It's definitely been a long drive. This weekend, we're hoping for a good result. Qualified at the moment, there's still one more qualifying to go, but we're 3rd on the grid at the stage, and we'll try and push the boundary a little bit later and drop the lap time slightly. Definitely a difficult circuit to learn, extremely physical on the body. It was really hot here yesterday with very little breeze. It's an absolutely amazing circuit. If I had to draw it on a piece of paper for you, the easiest thing is just to drop a piece of spaghetti on a plate. There's so many corners.
Yep, that pretty much explains Red Star Raceway, and the man they're all going to try and beat on pole position is Gareth Brazier.
Yeah, we've been struggling a little bit here lately. I haven't been riding as often as I used to be honest, so I've kind of fell out of the groove a little bit. But due to some personal commitments, I could only take part in one qualifying session this weekend. So I knew I had to put down a good lap yesterday morning. I tried pretty hard. I'm not over the moon with the lap time itself. I thought it could have been a bit quicker, but it was enough to secure pole, so I'm happy.
We are back at a sunny Red Star Raceway for round 5 action of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. also powered by Red Square Energy Drink. And this is a very tricky 4.5K circuit that these riders now have to demand. You would have heard David Entergot saying it's pretty much like taking a piece of spaghetti and dropping it on a piece of paper. 13, 14 corners for these guys to negotiate. Going to be hard work. Jason from Redar there just doing some final tweaks to his dad's bike. Got one hand on the trophy, does Graham from Redar, looking to wrap up another number one plate. All the tyres getting marked, the Bridgestone R11 tyres. You're allowed one set for the day. The beauty that is the ZX10 Masters Cup. Everyone on the same tyres. Henk Scaling getting himself ready. One of the stalwarts of South African motorcycle racing, always gets involved. Apanna Ganapathy, race face is very much on, but it's time to head out on track now. Joining me as always in the commentary booth is Dave Peterson. And Dave, we are in for another world-class event.
Looking forward to a great race here today, and good to see Gareth Brazier on pole position. Ahead of Michael Smith, Graham from Iraq, not his favourite track, in third place.
David Entergot, brilliant qualifying there for ahead of Teddy Brook, and Apanna Ganapathy rounding out your first two rows.
Next up, Travis Nordia. Then we've got Stewie Christie, the dog doctor. Johan Leroux. He says if he lives long enough, he might win this race.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get from Johan Leroux. Ian Harwood, Henk Scaling, and Lafroche Fritz all the way from Pekisa. Rounding out that final row. Ooh, we've got disaster here on the warm-up lap. That's Michael Smith. That is championship contender Michael Smith on the warm-up lap, and that is a massive crash.
That is unbelievable. Start delayed straight away, even as they come to the line. Let's take a look at the Sunbet replay. Oh, it's a high side, then it bounced right back, threw him onto his back and his hand. Looks like he's hurt his hand as he hit the ground as well. There's the wreckage going back to the pits, so we already have one bike less for this first race here at Red Star.
And that pretty much now almost guarantees Graham from Redar the championship. He's just literally got to finish on that Stefanudi Stocks Kawasaki machine. We go on board here with Henk Scaling. Brilliant start, as always, by Henk. Look at that, making up 2 or 3 positions from Redar with a terrible start.
Coming together there, yeah. That was with Gareth Brazier. So Graham from Redar and Gareth Brazier came together, going down into turn number 1.
And there is Travis Nordia, also with a boxing match with Teddy Brook there. So all action at the start of this race. Looks like David Entergot has got himself out front. So the Cape Tonian rider, first time here, doing a brilliant job on board here with From Redar, who's on a mission now to recover those positions after that arm wrestling match with Gareth Brazier at the start of the race. Teddy Brook.
Teddy Brook. I think he went past Teddy Brook. Looks like Teddy Brook had a bit of an issue with the bike. I was going to say, Graham's 1400cc Kawasaki, but actually, no, Teddy Brook's having a problem with his bike at the moment.
Yeah, he said he was battling a little bit with fuel pump issues throughout the weekend. At the front, it is Entergot ahead of Brazier. Now, if Brazier could see what was happening with Van Redar, if he could just get ahead of Entergot and try and check out, there's Teddy Brook, just making his way through, but those fuel pump problems will come to haunt him. Definitely not looking 100%. There's Johan Leroux at the tender age of 9,461 years of age in the top 5.
But look up front, Entergot under pressure right now from Gareth Brazier. So this will be really interesting. Graham from Redar, Stefanudi Stocks rider. He's made it well known. He's not that keen on this track, but look out for Van Redar. He knows the championship is up for grabs, and he's going to try everything to catch his 2 front riders.
Yeah, and Brazier in qualifying 57 lap times. That is really fast around the Red Star Raceway track. There's Van Redar now up into 3rd place ahead of Travis Nordia. Let's see if Nordia, your last winner last time out at East London, can he maybe tag onto the back of Van Redar and make this a 4-way battle at the front? Van Redar very much on a recovery mission. He'll know that Michael Smith is out of this race, so he doesn't really have to push that much. Finish on the podium and that championship is pretty much done and dusted. But you've got to somehow get ahead of Brazier, who he's already had an arm wrestling match with at the start of this race, and David Entergot, one of the most improved riders of the season.
Well, David Entergot all the way from Cape Town. Not really his best track either by his own admission, so pretty good for him to be out there. And look at Apanna Ganapathy. He's right in there. This is a great ride from him. Oh, up the straight we go. Looks like Gareth Brazier looking for a way past.
And this anti-clockwise way around Red Star Raceway, not easy because a lot of the corners tighten up on you. They're designed to go the other way around. Oh, from it. Oh, I thought that was going to be a little bit of a revenge match there on Gareth Brazier. You can see the 2 different lines that you can take there. Brazier taking the wide swooping line to get the drive, but here comes that 1400cc Kawasaki of Graham from Redar doing a brilliant job to now close in, making this a 3-way battle for the front.
Rob, I thought with the slipstream he would be able to pull in there, but unable to do that at the moment. Just shows you how quick the front 2 bikes are going at the moment.
They are all evenly matched. They're all Kawasaki ZX10 machines. different year models. Of course, we see out front probably a 2017 model there from Entergot as Bezuidenhout on the old school. That's about a 2014 model there that he's on, right in the mix. So you can see Bezuidenhout doing everything he can. This is the section where he can really make up. You can see how tight and twisty it is from
Radar
Radar.
making a lot of ground through this section, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that old
He's
GP
got
style.
his hand and his eyes on that number one plate for next year, and he wants to do it in style by winning this race.
It's a catch-22 sword there for Graham from Radar because he knows Michael Smith's out, so he doesn't have to push. He's got a comfortable lead in the championship. So risk it all and let's go for it. He's got brilliant drive
good
coming out
drive.
the tight 90 degree and lined that move up perfectly on the inside, on the brakes. Will he make it stick? Yes, he does. From Radar then up into second place. Can he get ahead now of Entergot, who's doing a brilliant race at the front end of this field?
Top three riders pulling away behind them. Big task going on at the moment with the Panaganapathy, Travis Nordia and Johan Leroux on their tail, looking to grab them on the brakes at the end of that main straight. Van Bredal once again, good drive coming out of that corner. Entergot can hear that bike buzzing right behind him.
And I saw Johan Leroux just sipping away at a Red Square energy drink before he came on track. So that's a brilliant advert for Red Square.
bit of
because
sugar going on.
It just gives him so much energy and so much pace. And now he's put himself right in that mix for the top 5 finish. Yeah, but just behind them, a Panaganapathy, slow starter, but got comfortable, got heat in the Bridgestone tyres and starting to put his attack on. He was not going to close up on these three, but certainly get himself inside that top 5. From Bredal now, mounting his charge on Entergot, who goes very defensive in the first opening bit of the track. Travis Nordia still holding down that 4th place. But here comes Johan Leroux and he's bringing a Panaganapathy along for the ride.
And just behind them, Stewie Christie, Henk Scaling and Ian Harwood on bike number 24. That's the Bridgestone bike having a great run.
A good ride this from Travis Nordia on the Buco-sponsored Kawasaki there, all the way from East London. Like I said, first time around the anti-clockwise circuit here at Red Star Raceway. Very difficult track to learn. It really is. The past 24 hours that we've had in past years, this is the way that the track went, and it's very, very, very tricky indeed. But he's done a very good job to adapt himself to the layout of this track. As we go on board, Joe, this is the start. This is going to be brilliant footage. On board with Van Bredal, gets the front wheel sky high, loses a little bit of traction there, and across Teddy Brook. So it wasn't Van Bredal, it was Teddy Brook and Gareth Brazier coming together. Maybe that's why Teddy Brook's fuel pump has decided it had a handlebar in the side of the tank.
Van Bredal
Foot
looking
out.
up the inside at the end of the short straight. That's the pit straight into the little S-bend, the little chicane. Look at the different lines he's taking now. He's going to get good drive down the straight. Right onto that back wheel of David Entergot. I can see a move coming. Straight away, goes down on the next to the freeway. That's the Witbank Highway, as you see on the right-hand side there.
Yeah, good move from Entergot to force Van Bredal to the outside, but later on the brakes is Van Bredal. Is he going to bring it back? Yeah, runs a little bit wide. That's very wide, but that corner got the double apex. You can pull that move off, and Van Bredal's done it. Entergot could not hold him back. Let's see if Entergot and Bezuidenhout showed really good pace all through practice and qualifying. Just needs to find a way ahead of Entergot and maybe can latch onto the back of Van Bredal, because already Van Bredal in a couple of corners has extended that lead
Don't
to
forget,
over
this
a
was his
second.
best section, the last lap as well. This is where he really was pulling in a lot of ground. So there we can see straight away 3-4 bike lengths just in this section alone. So Entergot's now got his hands full. Gareth Bezuidenhout looking. They're going to come back through towards the main pit area, and there's this other dive still going on, a Panaganapathy. He's all over the back there of Travis Nordia.
Yeah, and Johan Leroux right in the mix there as well. Nordia is starting to maybe not fade a little bit, the other more so than the other two guys, going faster now, getting comfortable. Johan Leroux, that red square now buzzing through his veins, and he's closing right on the back end now of Travis Nordia.
Van Bredal foot out, MotoGP style, as he banks that Stefanudi Stocks Kawasaki, resplendent colours, onto the right-hand side. We're heading down towards the checkers now, not long to go in this race. So it'll be another maximum 25 points for the rider from Springs, Graham Van Bredal. Brilliant performance. He's controlled it, actually, since he got to the front. He really has controlled the pace.
He has, and knowing that Michael Smith, his biggest championship rival, made that mistake on the warm-up lap, that would have just taken the pressure off, and it's allowed Graham Van Bredal to go out there, enjoy his machine, enjoy the racetrack, and that's exactly what he's done. And we're potentially looking at, what is this, 3-4 times in a row ZX10 Masters Cup champion.
Yeah, this is another one in the bag for Graham Van Bredal. Look at that great drive he's been getting coming on the straight. Checkered flag is out there. Van Bredal, bike number 1. Stefanudi Stocks across the line in first. Behind him, David Entergot. And then Gareth Bezuidenhout. Couldn't get past Entergot on that last lap. I thought he might try.
It was a brilliant ride there from Entergot to go defend Gareth Bezuidenhout, who you can see he's not too happy with that. He knows he's passed up a really good opportunity to take the race win. It did go to Graham Van Bredal in the end, ahead of Entergot and Bezuidenhout. A Panaganapathy double move there on the last lap, up into 4th, ahead of Nordia Leroux, Stewie Christie in 7th, Henk Scaling in 8th place.
Let's catch up then with Michael Smith and see what happened on that warm-up lap.
I tucked the front. I was scrubbing the tyres, but I didn't realize that you actually have to scrub the center of a tyre too. So I was on the brakes and it actually, I just tucked it and it threw me over the handlebars. I'm very disappointed actually. But yeah, we'll go to Zwartkops and finish the year off and take it from there for next year.
Another brilliant ride from David Entergot in second place.
You could say it was a good start. I managed to pull away. I saw a little bit of congestion on the left-hand side of the grid, took advantage of it. Dive bombed into the first corner in first and stayed in first for about 6 laps until Graham got the better of me in a few places and took advantage and blasted past me. I tried to ride as smooth as possible and try and stick with him. And towards the end of the race, I might have been slowly catching him, but I was really throwing all the checkbooks at it. It was a really good race. Over the moon.
It's one hand on another title for Graham from Rudar.
Yes, the one time when I really needed a good start, like I normally get my whole shot, I managed to wreck it. I don't know, I dumped the clutch, wheelie, nearly rode into some people. But anyway, I managed to settle. The first corner was chaotic and thought, let me not crash the first turn going in there. Settled down and managed to just get past Dave, but it wasn't easy. And then try and just pull a gap on Gareth. But I saw that Shane Michael crashed on the warm-up lap, so I knew he was out and he's the main title contender. So I said to myself, just bring it home wherever you are, and managed to get the win. Really happy. Thanks to the sponsors, to Stefanuti Stocks and Motul.
Welcome back to Red Star Raceway, round 5 of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup at Red Star Raceway. As you can see, the brollies are out because it is very, very warm out there on track. The racing action was plenty hot in race number 1, and it's time for race number 2. There is the battle wounds from Michael Smith. Didn't even get to line up on the grid. And it just shows you how tricky this track is. Crashed out, unfortunately, on the warm-up lap. Will not be taking part in race 2. That pretty much hands the championship to Graham from Rudar, who, if I do my maths right, just has to finish inside that top 5. We go on board here now with David Entergot. Another brilliant race from the man from Cape Town. Can he just maybe do a little bit more to try and keep from Rudar at bay? Let's see Teddy Brook. Let's hope he sorted out those bike problems, and let's hope he can get another brilliant start as he did in race 1.
Amara, one hand on the trophy, as you said. A punter gun up at he looks up at the red lights. We're waiting for the lights to go off red, and they go off, and away we go. Race 2, Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup.
Looks like a much better start there from Graham from Rudar. Didn't get as much front wheel lift as he did in race 1. Yes, he gets straight to the front. Teddy Brook again really does get those starts down and nailed up into second place ahead of Brazier. Brazier got to sort those starts out. He's got to go with from Rudar here. If he has any chance of winning this race, he's got to go with the number 1 plate.
Well, maybe he's going to get the big toe from Teddy Brook as they go down that straight. Looks like he's lining him up. He'll do him on the brakes at the end of the straight. Mind you, Teddy's good on the brakes. Down here, there's a punter stuck in that dice again. Entergot, and straight past him goes Travis Nordia from East London.
I thought he didn't know the track. It looked like he knew the track very well.
I mean, he came from East London as he passed him.
He really did. To come from that far back on the brakes, brilliant stuff there from Nordia. Really confident in those Bridgestone tyres from the word go. Got a good setup on that bike again. Ran a little bit wide, but you can do that at Red Star. You can see these corners, because the track is bi-directional, they close up on you going the anti-clockwise way round. So you can do that. Just run it in a little bit deep, use that extra bit of braking, make the move, and your opponent has nowhere else to go. So Entergot, can he make a move back on Nordia? Our 2 Seaside boys now doing battle for that 3rd place. It looks like
on the brakes. He's good on the brakes, Entergot.
He really does close it up there, but you could see already out front, Graham from Rudar extending that lead. Teddy Brook going, really good job. This I thought, in the background there, who was that coming together? Looked like, was it Ian Harwood?
It was Stewie Christie, maybe, with Lefraz Fritz.
Yeah, I think a little bit further back, some bashing bars there from the fastest vet in the entire world. But Travis Nordia, really good job. This is up into 4th place, holding off Entergot. So this really puts pay to Entergot's race. He's already losing big time on the leading 3 riders here. Teddy Brook, this is phenomenal. Holding bay Gareth Brazier and not letting from Rudar get away too much.
I think Teddy Brook has taken a leaf out of Mark Marquez's book. Anti-clockwise track means left-hand corners more than right. Clearly, Teddy Brooks likes the left-hand corners.
Yeah, he clearly does. On board here with Hank Scaling. Nice
Glad to see he's cleaning
I
windscreen.
was going to say, he's got some Mr. Min out there and cleaned that windscreen. Not too perfect.
Give him about a 6 out of 10 on that one.
Yeah, 6, 5
Teddy
and a half.
Brook, good drive onto the straight, but Gareth Brazier now looking to go past. Behind them, you got that big dice. Travis Nordia just in there with Johan Leroux also again in the mix. Apanaganapathy with the orange visor.
Yeah, he's right there in the mix now. And Travis Nordia knows he lost out on 2 places in the previous race to Apanaganapathy and Johan Leroux. So he's trying to just up that pace ever so slightly. Learning the track with every passing corner. Here goes Bazane Note. Is he going to line up a move? Brilliant slipstream effect on the inside. Teddy Brook, you said he was late on the brakes. And using that short circuit motard riding style to just close the line there. Bazane Note, he's got to take the risks. If he wants to go with From Radar, he's got to take the risks. Unfortunately, at the moment, From Radar is just cleared out at the front. And it looks like that number 1 plate is staying on the Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki.
Interesting, at the age of 64, Teddy Brook has taken up super motard racing. And you come into the sport.
Yeah, if it's got 2 wheels, Teddy Brook will want to be on it. The same with Johan Leroux. He's also been out short circuit riding on his motard. Teddy Brook, you can see that style. Just sits on the bike, hangs his bum off the seat. Very Kevin Schwan style there. Gareth Brazier, a little bit more new school, hanging off the side of the bike, but no way past. So Teddy Brook, this is a brilliant ride. One of the best rides we've seen on the season so far from Teddy Brook, who's kind of had an on-off season. He kind of came to form last season, started the season well, kind of lost his way a little bit, but this is the Teddy Brook we know, right on the podium.
Sometimes he's hot and sometimes he's cold, as in Brook Refrigeration.
I like
on board with Entergot. Here we go with Entergot. What's going to happen here? Oh, he's trying on the brakes. Very difficult. Oh, he's run wide though. Gareth Brazier run wide.
Again, you can do that there. It is that kind of 3 apex kind of corner, and just ran in a little bit deep there, but bought the bike bay. Entergot not wanting to take the risk of shoving it on the inside. Bazane Note, again, also not wanting to take too many risks, just holding station there in 3rd place for now. That has allowed Graham from Radar to just check out at the front end of this field, and if things stay the way that they will, looks like 2021 Sunbet ZX10 Masters champion is going to go the way of Graham from Radar. This is a really good battle, and Entergot's got to be careful because Apanaganapathy and Johan Leroux, with the late race pace that they've got, they're going to come. This is going to be a 4-way battle for that 4th place.
Funny enough, Rob, tyre wear doesn't really come into play that much. The Bridgestones around here, durability is absolutely excellent. But I'll just see an overtake there. Gareth Brazier going up on the inside of Teddy Brook.
Yeah, and David Entergot's trying the same move on the inside of Nordia, but can't make it stick. So Bazane Note has made that move up into 2nd place. Entergot, you can see, taking the wide sweeping line. He's going to square that off beautifully. That Bridgestone rear tyre, leaving a couple of black lines there on the Red Star track. In the slipstream now of Travis Nordia as they go down the back straight. Going to line up a move on the inside. Will he get it done? Yes, he does. Nordia's very late on the brakes. Go past the 200, 150 board there on the inside. Yes, he's held that move. So brilliant stuff there from Dave Entergot. This is Ian Harwood a little bit further back with all 7 fingers of his doing battle.
Ian Harwood, the TRP Bridgestone bike, he's moved up into 8th place. This is a great run from Ian Harwood. Best we've seen from him for some time.
Yeah, it is the best. He's finally finding a little bit of that form that he had at the end of last year. It certainly was starting to bring those lap times down and put himself inside that top 10 and doing it once again. Yeah, Gareth Brazier, looking at the lap times being consistent since he's got ahead now of Teddy Brook. He's really been able to up his pace and close that gap ever so slightly to Van Bredal. There he is. You can see in the same shot now.
No, he's within about a second and a half. It was up to 3 seconds at one point, so he definitely is closing towards the end of the race.
Just too little too late. You know what I mean? He's got to get those starts. Brazier, we've said it for a couple of years now, is a serious championship contender. He's just got to sort out those first couple of laps. There's just something, there's a mental block from the start of the race for the first 4 or 5 laps. Come the end of the race, this is the Gareth Brazier that no one can touch. If we see this Gareth Brazier from the first lap, it's going to be hard for the Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki rider, Graham Van Bredal, to hold on to that number 1 plate.
One little mistake from Van Bredal, and we could see something happening there. That's Henk Scaling going up the inside of Lafraz Fritz. So that is for the 9th place position. They're behind Ian Harwood, who's lying in 8th at the moment.
A really good little battle here between Henk Scaling and Lafraz Fritz, all the way from Velkom or Scaling. Sounded like he missed a gear there, or using the clutch, it sounds like, older Henk Scaling. Who needs a quick shifter where you can just clutch it? Lafraz Fritz trying to make that move, can't make it stick. Back to the front end of this field. Here is Graham Van Bredal. You can see the grip and stability he's still got.
He's pulled a bit away now. It looks like he's just pulled a bit of a gap into 2nd place. Gareth Brazier. Here we've got Teddy Brook. We've got David Entergot all over him now. So Teddy Brook slipping back ever so slightly.
Yeah, you can see David Entergot again. Once he made that move ahead of Travis Nordia, just up that pace and put himself in podium contention now. He's got a couple of corners to try and make that move stick to get himself on the podium. That'll be a really good day's work there. But Van Bredal is the man to beat. Checkered flag is out. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup champion is Graham Van Bredal.
And they've still got 1 round to go. 2 more races still to go this year. So Van Bredal's wrapped it up pretty early in the season. Now this is that guy's going on. You're on board with Entergot down to the line with Teddy Brook just ahead of him. Can he get past? No, he can't. So Teddy Brook, a season best 3rd place.
Brilliant ride there from Teddy Brook. It just shows you how important the start of the race is. Get the start, you can put yourself in contention. Hank scaling, there we go. That's what we
nearly
like
over
to
backwards,
see.
nearly, Hank.
Yeah, got that rear brake activated. Oh, lovely style there. Hank scaling down the highway straight. Love that, mum. You're lucky you got grip in that Bridgestone tyre there. Gives a little thumbs up, not only to the marshal, but also to the Lord above for keeping him on two wheels there. But here is your final results then for race number 2. It is Graham from Ida ahead of Gareth Brazier, Teddy Brook, David Entergot, Apana Ganapathy. Again, a brilliant ride up into 5th. And it's great to see Class B, A and C, the top 3 riders there. But there was only one rider of the day, and it had to be Mr. Teddy Brook.
Race 1, the bike bombed out. And then thank you to Michael for giving me his complete fuel tank with his pump. And race 2 was amazing. I had a good start. Got tight towards the end, but managed to hold on to 3rd. And thanks to Raceway and Kawasaki and Bridgestone and Sunbet for the day.
Let's have a look then at the overall championship, and it is a Class B rider. Graham from Ida takes overall. Michael Smith there in 2nd place. Rob Craig, unfortunately, didn't make it to this race meeting. He holds on to 3rd, just ahead of fellow Cape Townian David Entergot. So some work to do there at the final round to hold on to that. But your new champion is Graham from Ida.
For sure, I'm very happy, especially to do it at Red Star. We thought if I had slightly bad results today, it would end up going to the wire at Swartkops, which would also be nice, but unfortunately Mark had a crash today. I hope he's okay. I heard his elbow's quite bad, and well done to everybody else. Teddy had a fantastic ride. Apana, Gareth was right there at the end of the second heat. I was running out of steam, but I was managing to control the gap. It's the track seems to be super slippery with the V8s today. There's been no grip whatsoever out there, and yet the guys are still doing the lap times. And yeah, very happy for this championship and happy to win today. And big thanks to my sponsors, to Stefanucci Stocks and to Motul, and to the class sponsors, Red Square, Bridgestone, Kawasaki and Sunbet. Thanks very much, guys. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, sentiments to that. There is the Fromredar family, along with Peter Labuskakny celebrating that title. This is Class C honours then. Johan Leroux takes overall honours with Henk Scaling and Lafrage Fitz on the podium. Well done to our Class C riders. Class B was all about Graham from Ida, Apana Ganapathy and Ian Harwood, the Bridgestone man. And Class A, Gareth Brazier with David Entergot and Travis Nordia rounding out the podium there. Rider of the day, 1,000 Rand, that goes to Teddy Brook. He's going to go spend that in the bar now. And Graham from Ida has got date night sorted for the rest of the year. All this Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup action is energized by Red Square.